Hello everyone and welcome back to Shouting at Pixels. My name is Pavlos, also known as ExWarrior, and in this video, apart from taking my girlfriend's living room as hostage, I'll be taking you through the fundamentals.
This is not FPL, this is a major! Debris is like sweating bullets! Oh, Fallen, stop blowing my mind!
The man can do no wrong! One of the greats!
Before we dive into the fundamentals, I think it's very important to separate them into two different categories. One would be the voice-related ones, right? Which would have to do whether you're able to project your voice properly, whether you're able to control your tone or modulation, basically meaning that you have to be able to control your voice in a way which makes you sound interesting, makes you easily comprehensible, and stuff like that. Essentially, these voice-related fundamentals are unique to everyone, and some people may already have a great understanding of them due to maybe a musical background. For some, it may be easier to go through the process of learning voice fundamentals, and for some, may be harder. This video isn't really about these. I'll be mostly focusing on the second type of fundamentals, the fundamental tools. I've named this category tools because that's exactly what they are. Your job as a commentator is to keep the viewers engaged, and these tools are there to help you do just that. This category basically consists of the very important abilities of delivering analysis, of being able to create and narrate storylines, but also being able to control the energy and emotions of the broadcast. Good storytelling helps the viewers understand the stakes of the game, but at the same time, it provides context to the teams or players in the match, and it makes them a little bit more relatable. This makes the viewers more emotionally invested in the game, and the chances are they'll be sticking around to see whether their new favorite player or their new favorite team is going to get the win in the end. Storytelling comes in many shapes or forms. Firstly, you need to consider that there are a ton of different storylines that someone can follow, right? Whether that is storylines based on teams, storylines based on players, whether there are some stories that you can follow in regards to the teams playing against each other, the matchup. At the same time, storylines may be developed prior to the game, right? There are some historical facts about teams or players that can build up a story that may be interesting, or there could be a storyline that can be developed during the game. As the game progresses, maybe that is due to performance, maybe that is due to some certain duel taking place. There are certain aspects that can be built during the game, and that comes off of you being observant and being able to see those storylines unfold. And once you're able to identify them, you can portray them in your cast. What is interesting about storylines is that there are many different ways for you as a caster to be able to portray them in a cast. Whether there is a bit of downtime and there isn't much action going on and you can kind of use some space to build up a narrative, sort of explain the background, or maybe something about a player or a team that makes the broadcast more interesting.
Just artists, again, off to a flying start. And we've already seen this once in this tournament, what artists can do at his absolute peak. In fact, one of the times they actually came close to beating Fnatic on this map was him just tearing his opponents apart on that defensive side. So the fact that he's already buying up a rifle going into round 2, I don't know, I feel like Artis has come to play today.
Or you could use it during a bit of a play-by-play segment. You want to explain what is going on by giving some characterization to the players or teams to make it a little bit more interesting, more fruitful, and give the player in that moment a bit of character.
Low HP, Rob's with it all to do.
But this is what Robs was brought into the team for, to convert rounds like this. When the chips are down, the lurk player, the clutch. Right now, they're looking in the complete wrong direction, so the redirect from Rob.
What's really cool about storytelling is that it's basically limitless. There are so many things that you can talk about, and I think what the most important thing about it is coming into your cast prepared, without having some pre-existing storylines. Even if you're the most experienced caster in the world and you're able to come out with ideas, it will never hit the spot if you don't have new ideas and sort of carrying the narrative onwards, because that's what the players deserve. That's what the viewers deserve, to see and experience the journey of the teams. Now let's jump into the second fundamental tool of this video, analysis. Now, analysis is the ability of the commentator to be able to break down concepts, either if they're complex or if they're just simple, in a very easy to understand and comprehensible way for the viewers. Now, the concepts that basically you break down in analysis can both be derived from the game or can also be historical, just like storylines. I think there could be an argument for the different categorizations of analysis, but for me, from what I've witnessed so far, from what I've been trying to implement into my cast, is that there are two distinct kinds of analysis. One of them is macro analysis and the other is micro analysis. If you've been in esports for a while, you've probably heard these two terms before. Now, you may or may not know what these two terms mean, so I'll break it down for you. Macro analysis mainly has to do with the plan of the game or a set of decisions in order to reach a certain goal.
I kind of like that call for outsiders to run that AXEC, but then to send the bomb back. The only reason it fails is Kicker dies. If he gets one entry there, Jane will commit with him with the bomb, and they're going to go for the B plant. They found the right timing. Dexter peeled out, but Kicker falls, and that's the kill that really throws a spanner in the works. They had their B plan, they have their backup to go for that AXEC, but it wasn't what they wanted.
Microanalysis, I would say, would have to do with small instances in the game. Minute moments that maybe one or two players have taken a few actions in a small time span to gain an advantage or leverage over their opposing team.
And back away though. That's such a cool little metagame happening there. Ye likes to post up on the short angle so often, so you need to jiggle peek when you play against Optic, and Victor's trying to catch them after they jiggle peek and see that there's nobody there.
What is really important to understand, and is quite often overlooked, is that analysis and storytelling come hand in hand. It's very important you have one with the other and not separate. Storytelling cannot be as interesting and engaging if it doesn't have analysis that can take it that much deeper. And analysis doesn't really land if it's not really following a storyline. Now, there is also the third fundamental tool in this video, and that has to be emotion energy control. Now, this tool is probably my favorite. Emotion energy control is the ability of the commentator to be able to modulate and control the emotions or the energy you should have during a match. Let's be honest, if you've watched an esports match ever in your life, chances are you weren't paying attention 100% of the time. It's the commentator's job through emotion and energy control to let you know when the match is exciting, when you should be paying attention, and yeah, when you should be sad or happy or excited or thrilled or be in anticipation. There are a lot of emotions and complex emotions that need to be portrayed in a match. And it's actually a very overlooked and very important aspect of commentary. Mastering this tool makes the viewing experience so much better. It's just that much more natural. Hearing a cast in a monotone energy, whether even if it's 100% energy the entire time, just won't feel interesting, won't feel engaging, because if everything's interesting, nothing is. You need to have a balance of both. You need to have the lows to be able to have the highs. Yin and yang, baby. Throughout this video, you've probably realized that I've left out the discussion of play-by-play and color, and that is on purpose. I think it is important for every commentator to be able to develop all these tools, no matter your role. Yes, maybe you will be more responsible in using one tool rather than the other. For example, a color caster may be more influential in analysis, and a play-by-play might be more responsible of controlling the emotions and energy of the match. But it doesn't stop from all of these tools being important for play-by-play and colors alike. Also, is very key to note is that every viewer is susceptible to different types of fundamental tools, different styles of cast. If a commentator puts more emphasis in emotion energy control, it might not be so susceptible to someone that is watching the game for the sake of learning and for the sake of seeing the pros and trying to figure out how everything goes. If you have a more analytical brain, then obviously you'll be more fond of an analytical caster, one that uses most analysis. If you're a person that loves storylines, loves following teams, loves following players, then obviously a commentator that uses storylines more will be more interesting for you. And I think it's these tools that commentators get to choose how much they use of each that makes viewers maybe support one caster duo rather than another, because there's a different balance. This doesn't mean a lot of casters are bad. No, it just means that a lot of people have varying interests, and that's okay. So that's going to be it for this episode, everybody. Hope you guys have enjoyed it and learned something new. Next week's video is all about duo synergy, so if you guys want to be notified for that, you guys know what to do. And I love hearing about your thoughts. I'm new to this YouTuber thing, so if you guys have got any thoughts, make sure you share it away. But other than that, take care, have a good one, and I'll see you guys in the next one.